without further ado, let's go right into what it means specifically to have your moon in the sign of Cancer. So the moon in Cancer, this is where it's at home, right? It's comfortable here. It knows how to do Cancer things. And what's interesting is this has now been the fourth video in this series that I've done thus far, where we've really spoken about the power of dignity, of something in its own sign, where when something is in its own sign, I've found a lot that it almost accentuates the lessons of that sign to be of a lot more of an importance. Meaning that when you have your Mars in Aries, or your Venus in Taurus, right, or your Mercury in Gemini, because they are so naturally at home in those specific signs, those planets are so comfortable in those specific signs, I tend to see that when we have the moon in Cancer, the family, the ability to have a family, the ability to feel at home and have that sensitivity is so prominent in the individual, and they're so in tune with that in a much more naturally instinctive way than if the moon were to be exalted or Mars were to be exalted, things of that nature. It works very differently because it is so comfortable, and because it's so comfortable, the themes of, in this example, the moon, are so just kind of obviously there. They're very lunar. Like when we talk about the moon in Cancer, we really speak on like this rich family kind of heritage, this connection to the family, this really deep ancestral kind of bonding, this knowing what it means to have community and have a rich rooted system and understanding what that is. Granted, that can change with other parts of the chart, where the sun's located, other parts of this chart that don't necessarily speak to just the moon, because there can be so many different places that this moon in Cancer can be placed within the chart. But at the end of the day, the moon in Cancer individual has this ability to know what it means to feel safe, and whether or not they know how to get to it or not, that's kind of where they're always going. They're always trying to lead themselves and those around them to that sense of safety and that sense of home, and the ability to create a sense of home for a lot of people. There's a very interesting perspective that I find with those that have moon in Cancer